Hi friends, Miss S here with your Read Aloud. Super excited for today's lesson because today we have a brand new text we're reading called Stone Soup. So make sure that you guys are watching the Read Aloud above. This is a brand new text that none of us have read yet, so we all need to make sure that we're watching the above video first so that we learn what happens in this text. Even if this text looks familiar, maybe it's something you read in first grade or something that you've read at home, make sure you guys are watching the Read Aloud above so that we can refresh our memory. Remember, it's always a good idea to read a text more than once or to read more recently to refresh our memory. So make sure you guys are doing that. And then let's jump right into our lesson after we read our Read Aloud. So today's skill is something we practiced a lot in second grade. I know you guys are going to do a great job. It's called identifying key details in a story. And we know key details in a story are very important details that the author has in the story. And as good readers, we need to make sure we have our eyes peeled for these key details, and we're going to be following our steps and doing that today. So as always, I'm going to be answering our first question about key details. So just go ahead and watch me first. So our first question today, what is a key detail about the soldiers? What is a key detail about the soldiers? So of course the soldiers that we're referring to in this question are the soldiers, the three soldiers that come into town in the beginning of the text. So our question is, what is a key detail about the soldiers? So let's go ahead and follow our steps to do that. Step 1, retell story elements. So story elements are the main characters, the setting, and important events. So when I start skimming my text and trying to figure out the main characters, setting, and important events, I know that my main characters are, first of all, my three soldiers that come into our story. And then of course we also have the villagers. Oh, back in the book. We also have our villagers. But I would say the main characters, the characters we focus on the most are our three soldiers that are traveling into this town. And of course, for the setting, the story takes place in this small town. We don't know exactly where this town is or what it's called. We just know it's a small town that has some people with a lot of food, but food that they don't want to share. And then going into our important events in the text, we see these three soldiers come into the town. They're very hungry. They want a place to stay. But these people, even though they have food, they are not willing to share. They don't want to open their doors to these soldiers and allow them to eat and stay with them. So these men have this brilliant idea to create this stone soup. They get the townsfolk all excited for this stone soup. They say it's magical and it can do wonders. So after telling the townspeople that, they all get really excited and they all pitch in and give ingredients to make the soup. They have a big pot. They start making the soup. They all come together to do it. And then by the end, they're all celebrating together, excited that they could make this soup together. And then our three men, they end up being able to eat and having a place to stay before leaving town. So going into step 2, identify key details that show character traits, connect to the problem, and are needed for the story to make sense. So remember, in our question, we are trying to find a key detail about our three soldiers. So thinking about that, I realized that a key detail that does all three of these things, show character traits, connect to the problem, and are needed for the story to make sense, is the fact that the soldiers are hungry. We know that they're hungry in the beginning of the text. The author tells us how hungry they are. They go into this town because they're so hungry. And it's also important to the story because this is the reason why the soldiers are asking for food. This is their problem in the text. This is the main problem, right? That our three soldiers are so hungry and they're looking for people to feed them. So that's a key detail. That's a detail that's important to the story because the story really wouldn't exist without this detail. There would be no story to tell without it. All right, Kipsters, now I need your help to answer this next question. So for the we do today, this is the question we're answering. What is a key detail about the villagers? What is a key detail about the villagers? So let's go right into our steps to answer this question. So I'll need your help with step 1, which is retell